The NBA playoffs are in full swing, or have been in full swing, and the NBA lottery was just a couple days ago. We're here to talk about it and break it down for y'all on From the Nosebleeds. Welcome back from the Nosebleeds. My name is Cole Fair. That's Zach Dorosic coming to you live, not from Phoenix, Arizona no more. We are back home for the summer, but still the same duo. Of course, I'm from the Bay Area. I'm in SF right now. I'm home in Cali. Zach's home in Austin, ATX right now. We're rocking two completely different jerseys. Spurs Wolves tonight. Obviously, he's a Spurs fan. I still know which way you are.
Cole's
Whichever
a
way.
Wolves fan.
And then tonight, I'm a Wolves fan because my team got eliminated last night. Ha! Anyways, yeah, let's talk about it. It's been a minute since we had a pod, bro. Like, bro, what,
It
2
has
weeks?
been an absolute minute, bro.
2
I
weeks?
think it's about
2 weeks?
it's been about a week. I think
Wait.
I think it's only been a week off. It just feels like
That's
two
true.
because of how long,
Yeah, I
how
mean,
much has happened.
usually when we have breaks and stuff like that, like 2 weeks, whatever, it's like not that important because regular season, whatever, like that. But it feels like a lot longer because of the playoffs and all that kind of stuff.
We've
I
had three
left.
game sevens happen since
Yeah, that's
we
crazy,
have
bro.
last recorded. Like
It's like that has been like 3 weeks.
it's unreal. I don't think it's been 3 weeks.
Sorry, it's 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's
No,
crazy,
it
bro.
feels like every time we take a hiatus for a week or so, the most wild stuff ever happens in basketball.
Yeah.
I
When was
mean,
the last time we took a
wait,
break?
what do we? I remember the Angel Reese trade happened last time. That's all I remember,
Yeah.
Heike. Um, did
Oh,
I
didn't
even get a
Luka
chance
get
to talk
injured?
about the Spurs beating the Blazers? Oh, that was the Luka injury too. Yeah,
Wait, Spurs Blazers
I'm trying to
was
think of what our last episode was.
that night or the night before, or because we had our last episode on that
No, because
Wednesday,
it was on a Tuesday,
so it was the
so it
day.
was the
I
night
think you did.
before.
You
Yeah.
probably did. You probably did. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, and then I was talking about how the Lakers about to blow the lead because they played that night and then lost.
I forgot about that. Dang. Yeah, the Rockets really did give y'all a scare for like 2 games there.
Yeah, whatever. Well, who gives a fuck anymore? Both teams are out anyways. Um, but yeah, let's
Galveston
start
on
with.
3.
Yeah, all right, bro. Nah, the Rockets going to Galveston. We're Lakers too rich for that. We going to Cancun, bro. Don't even trip.
All right.
Let's start there. Lakers. My Lakers lost last night. Sweep 4-0. Couldn't even talk about the series, but honestly, I don't know much more to talk about other than the Thunder just poised to go back to back. I don't know. It's kind of it.
I don't. Why not start with AJ Mitchell? I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like he's went from underrated to like people finally recognizing how good he is. Because
Yeah.
when Shea doesn't have it going, when Shea's hitting a rough patch offensively, like we saw him go through this Lakers series, AJ Mitchell has been step for step with him this entire season. When J Dub's
Exactly.
not healthy, when Chet's underperforming, you can always count on AJ Mitchell to perform. And
Yeah, dude.
it's just
Watching.
hats off to Sam Presti. Yet again, it feels like he's made magic. I believe last offseason he had him sign a 3-year deal, so he's not
Mhm.
getting paid that much either. So it's unfair what OKC has, but full credit to Sam Presti in the front office for all the work they've done.
Yeah, I mean,
As usual, they're probably the best front office in basketball. It's between them and Boston. I think Boston could deserves an
compete
argument
absolutely.
there, but
Yeah.
we'll see how they handle this offseason. But
Yeah, it's just wild the story of how they found AJ because they were scouting somebody different at UC Santa Cruz or Santa Barbara. Santa
I
Barbara,
think
I
it's
think.
UCSB. Yeah.
Yeah, UCSB. They were scouting somebody else and they found AJ and was like, "Yo, this is our guy," and they drafted him. Look at him now, and just watching him throughout the series, like we knew how good he was. If you really watched like games like that and you knew who he was, you knew how good he was his entire season when J Dub wasn't playing. And then this series turned up again. Like uh, first round against Phoenix, he didn't play like significant minutes because that was just a boat race of a series for OKC. Then this series, when it comes to get a second round, obviously still a little bit more of a boat race than people thought, especially me. But Jada doesn't play, and Shea was held to through the first 3 games an average of like 22 points or something like that, which is an on terrible efficiency, which is not Shea like at all. So watching AJ perform like he did, he had what 18 in game 2, 24 in game 2 or game 3, and then like 28 last night. Like every time he got the ball, it was a backbreaker for the Lakers. Every time he got the ball, you just knew that was going to go in, something like that was going to happen. And he attacked the hell out of Austin Reeves, which is, for Lakers fans, very scary for the offseason, what comes next for him and all that kind of stuff. But like he just attacked and clearly converted and was honestly the best player that series for the Thunder. Chet has an argument on obviously the defensive impact he had, but AJ played with heart, soul, led that team when Shea wasn't, on it, and really is the one that closed out the series and closed out a lot of games for them and allowed them to get to sweep. So I don't know. I don't really have any much words. I can talk about the Lakers, but we can do a whole episode on them later. I really don't want to talk about the Lakers. The fact that like we're out. I expected it. I didn't want them to win last night. Kind of delaying the inevitable if they did win. But again, it really does suck. The only part is like we don't know what's gonna happen with LeBron James. If that was his last game as a Laker or game ever, we've been saying that for past couple of years now. We don't really know, and it just sucks that we were robbed of a possible what could have happened if like this entire playoff run is a what if. Even though we got to the second round without Luka, it's a what if. If Luka was playing, I really do think that we had a better chance in the series. The third quarters and the turnovers margin was literally the blow to the face for the Lakers. And if you have a guy like Luka Doncic, you're not doing that nearly as often in clutch situations like that. So the only thing that hurts about it is the fact that we were robbed of a Luka, like a full season of Luka LeBron playoffs or regular season and playoffs. So that's all I can really say.
A Luka Shea series. I mean,
a Luka Shea series. Yeah, last time we saw that was 2024, and that was an unbelievable series in the conference semifinals. So
that was kind of like OKC's welcome to the offs moment. Like I feel like the Spurs are getting right now. AJ Mitchell, again, like I agree completely with you. I think he was probably the Thunder's best player this season or this series. Sorry, obviously not this season. Sorry, that's crazy to say when they have Shea and obviously more importantly Chet Holmgren on the roster.
Absolutely.
But AJ Mitchell was incredible this series. He was a plus 12 on off, which I believe is the highest on the team. Chet was like a plus 5. I think I believe him and Caruso were around a plus 5, and they're the next highest. And it's really just hats off to AJ Mitchell. I think he just kind of represents the modern guard, what a lot of teams are looking for in modern guards in terms of getting to the basket. Like him and Dylan Harper are two of my favorite finishers in the league. Tyrese Maxey's up there too. Like just unreal, crafty finishers.
Quick tap to get to the rim.
Yeah, so I really enjoy AJ Mitchell's game. It's a shame he's on the Thunder, but completely hats off to Sam Presti. He's outdone himself yet again. The Thunder look unstoppable. I feel like we kind of knew this going into the offs. I mean, you look at their route. It doesn't matter if Houston won. I'd take fully healthy Houston might take a game off OKC. That's how confident I'd be in them.
Yeah.
Phoenix was never going to take a game off OKC. That's just the truth. Moving on to the Lakers side, like obviously.
Wait, hold on. One more thing with the Thunder. Moving forward for them, obviously AJ Mitchell came in to replace J-Dub in that starting lineup for the honestly this whole playoff series so far, or playoff run so far, kind of. When J-Dub returns, what does OKC do? Because I feel like if I was Mark Daigneault, like, do you replace J-Dub? Or do you replace AJ Mitchell with J-Dub in the starting lineup? Because it's been working so good without him right now. Going forward, especially as you get deeper into the playoffs, you don't want to have cold feet for a player like J-Dub to come off of weeks of not playing. Like what's your thought on that? Like if he comes back, you give him like a couple games to start or come off the bench, then you put him in the starting lineup again?
It's interesting because I feel like the Thunder's defense this playoffs hasn't been as great as it was last year. I know it's crazy to say, like they're 8-0 through the first 2 rounds. Last year, they went to 7 with Denver in the second round. But I feel like the defense just hasn't been as great without J-Dub. So I definitely could get Mark Daigneault just sliding Jalen Williams right back into the lineup. But honestly, I feel like you kind of have to ride the hot hand as it stands right now.
Mm-hmm.
Leave AJ Mitchell in until a team proves that you can't leave him in. So I just ride, like I said, ride the hot hand. Uh, I don't think J Dub has an ego like that. I don't think Dub would care coming off the bench. I think he just wants to win, as does any other player. So I don't think he would mind relinquishing his starting spot at all.
Yeah, and he's still be playing off the bench 30 plus minutes a game, so it's not
Yeah,
that big of a deal.
I have been a bit disappointed with Dub's offensive production this year, but then again, he hasn't been consistently healthy, so it's hard to judge him there. So
Exactly.
I think right now AJ Mitchell's the better player, the better like complement to Shea, at least offensively. So I feel like you have to roll with him going forward in the playoffs.
Yeah, and then moving on to the Lakers side, like you were talking about. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, obviously we'll have a full episode talking about their offseason. What do they do with Reeves? What do they do with Braun? Is Rui staying or going? Coming to San Antonio maybe? Luke Kennard, what happens there? Dominating back. Jackson Hayes max contract. I mean, sorry, there's a lot going on in Lakerland. It's an interesting offseason. I've already seen rumors start up, but it should be a fun one. I'd love to see what y'all do, but in terms of the series, I just feel like y'all never had the personnel to match up with the Thunder. That's what like I get the complaints about the officials in game two, right? It was game
Game
two.
two, yeah, game two.
I understand the complaints. I didn't think officiating was great there, either way, but I just don't like how the Lakers match up with this Thunder squad whatsoever. I mean, you're talking about probably the second most notorious double big in the league, behind Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, and the Lakers have Jackson Hayes and DeAndre Ayton to compete with that. Like, it was never going to be a good matchup. It's just I know they did. I know y'all did well against Shea, but it was like an eye for an eye because Chet
Yeah,
had
yeah.
a series of a
Pick your
lifetime.
poison.
Like Chet had an incredible series. Wasn't the greatest defensively in Game 4, but I still think Chet absolutely feasted off of DeAndre Ayton, off of Jackson Hayes, which
Mm-hmm.
grass is green, sky's blue. Like it was kind of a given, but I didn't like the matchup at all. It didn't help that Reeves first had for games
First two
one.
games.
Yeah, I thought he picked it up a bit in two.
I
If I
mean, it was
remember
really just the
correctly,
first.
but
It was
game
really just the
one,
first
game one
game.
was an awful game, and
Yeah,
defensively he hasn't really shown much. So it's always going to be difficult to build a roster when you have as many non-defenders as the Lakers have, especially when
exactly.
you're going against the Thunder.
Yeah,
But
and it's really weird to look back because we were just talking about Austria's contract situation when he was
yeah,
first free agent back in 2023, and going into the offseason, he's another up for a contract this season. Except the difference was in 2023 he was restricted. Spurs obviously offered him money, and the Lakers matched that, and it was kind of a low ball, which compared to what people thought. People thought he was going to get like a 4-year, $80 million contract. He ended up getting a 3-year, $50-something million contract, I think it was. So going into this season, people are like, "Oh, he's going to get a bag now because he's proven that he has star potential, all this kind of stuff." But he's 27, and it does make me think back to when he was first that player that he was up for contract, and everybody was in love with him. Um, his defensive woes weren't as bad. Like he was genuinely one of the better defenders on the team. Like it's crazy to think now, and crazy to say now, but he really was a good defender back then. He was getting put on the other team's best guard. He was getting put on in that series against Golden State. He was put on Curry every single game. That series against Memphis, he was put on John Morant that series, and then against Denver, he was put on Jamal Murray. So you know, thinking back now, where now you don't have him even like really in a defensive scheme, like it is kind of interesting to think about. So we'll talk about it in our offseason guide for the Lakers, whenever we do that. But I'm really am intrigued to see like what he thinks he can deserve, what the Lakers think he deserves, and um, if he's humble enough, which I do believe he is. He loves the city, he loves the LA, he loves to play for the team with Luka Doncic, and we've seen that Luka has advocated for him to stay. So we'll see what happens with that, and I'm very intrigued to see because Osprey is like one of my favorite guys, one of my favorite players I've ever watched in my lifetime. Just like Lakers don't really have as many, you know, ingrown developed players. I think maybe the only other one you could think about is probably Kobe, And so like to see somebody like that, it's like
Caruso.
Caruso, but he
Hey,
left, bro.
Hey, Bron's best friend.
Bro.
Hey, y'all backdoored him. Y'all backdoored him, man. Ain't right.
I mean, just this entire week, I've already been seeing like, man, what if we didn't blow up the 2020 championship squad, man? Well, whatever, we'll move off that for right
Bro,
now.
y'all be still paying Kyle Kuzma $30 million a year plus.
Fuck off, whatever. But we'll
Hey,
get
y'all
to
might
that
have the
later
number
with the
one pick though,
Lakers.
because of AD. We'll talk about that later, but I have the
It's
number
true,
one pick
dude.
because of AD, bro. Hey, 3 times. That's crazy. Like once is a coincidence, twice is a pattern. 3, like that's a whole statistic right there. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
we'll
Anyways,
see with
let's get
that.
on to the next series. The Knicks.
Knicks, Sixers. We both talked before the pod. Like we barely watched the series. I think I watched maybe like a couple hours of this series out of the possible like 12 that there was.
It, I watched the first couple of quarters just because it always conceded with Spurs Wolves, and obviously I care about that series so much more. And I watched the first 2 quarters of the series, and I was like, "Yep, that's enough for me." And I already had stuff going on during the other 3 games, but it just helped that those first 2 quarters were so generationally awful from the Sixers.
You know what I'm just realizing now? We didn't even get to talk about the Knicks boat race of the Hawks in Game 6 on the pod, dude.
Bro, we missed all the fun events, bro. Like
Bro, I was watching that on a
Embiid getting his
plane,
get
bro.
back, like
Bro, so
bro.
I flew back home that day, right? So I got on the plane and it just started, like, because I had a layover in LAX for some god awful reason, whatever, right? So that was only like a hour flight. So by the time I landed in LAX, when I took off from Phoenix, the game was like 10 minutes away from starting, right? When I landed in LAX, I checked the score, bro. It was 60-19. I texted you. I was like, "What? It's crazy, bro."
Yeah, I have my own story with that game because like I didn't even start, like I didn't watch the beginning of the game. I was doing like finals work, I believe. I think it was a
Yeah,
Thursday,
it's Thursday.
and shout out Jimmy Butler. I was stupidly locked in. I was not checking my phone. I was locked in on the work.
Hey, green
And
face
as soon
coffee.
as I finished, absolutely, as soon as I opened my phone, I saw a text from Preston. It was like a screenshot of the score, and he was like, "What the hell?" I think it was from Preston. It probably was. But then I went back upstairs, and we were talking about it. Just, I yeah. Let's talk more about the Knicks. Let's not focus on the Hawks right now. They
Yeah.
tried. They got an A for effort. But
No, they didn't even get
man,
A for effort, bro.
well, they took 2 games from the Knicks. That's more than the Sixers could say.
That
Like
is true. That is
they
true.
took 2 games. CJ McCollum had the game of his life twice. So A for effort, I'll say.
Yeah.
The Knicks, man. Wow, just wow. I I can't believe they're this dominant. Granted, the competition they faced, Hawks are a good, not great team. The Sixers fought hard. They kind of sacrificed themselves to win that first round series, which I applaud them for first and foremost.
Absolutely.
God, that warms my heart, man. Seeing Joel Embiid win a game 7 like that. Then it also breaks my heart to see him hurt the way
Injured
he
in
was
the
hurting
leg. Yeah.
in the second
Yeah.
round. I mean, God, you want to talk about a warrior? You want to talk about somebody who just fights through adversity no matter what? You're looking at Joel Embiid. Like Joel Embiid is the face of overcoming adversity, man, and that would have meant so much. I just know to him, to the city, to all his fans, if they were able to get that run, man, that run to the conference finals, that run to the finals, who knows, a run to the championship. And for a second there, when they won Game 7, I was like, maybe this is Dirk year. And then Game 1, it fell apart.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the Philly, we talked about it again before the pod even started on this episode. Like, Philly still has a bright future ahead of them. As much as people want to give them,
they got it.
throw them under the bus right now.
Shake
They
it
got
up
a
with the
young
roster,
guy.
though.
Yeah, a little bit of a shakeup, but young guy and VJ. Obviously, your core is Joel and Maxi. That's your duo right there. Paul George, again, has come back and looked really good down the stretch in a lot of these games. You don't know if he
Got Kelly
could.
Oubre.
Yeah, we don't know if Paul
Kelly's
George
one of
keeps
the
it
ones
up, but
who got to get moved. But
yeah, absolutely. But like again, looking around, it's like Like it's not that bad for Philly right now. Like
bro. I saw a tweet. Sorry, I know I mentioned Kelly Oubre, but I saw a tweet which he did play poor in the series, but this tweet was wild. Somebody said if Kelly Oubre was a shark, he would drown. This is after Game 3, by the way. I don't even know how bad he played in Game 3. Like I really need to check this out. But bro,
I'm looking right now back at the box score for that.
I'm looking. I'm grabbing it right now because there's no way he was that bad.
uh, bro, 22 points.
Yeah, 19. 19 on 68 true shooting. Like he had to have turned the ball over like 80
Wait, what
times. No
game am I
way.
looking at? No, this is game three, bro. 22 points on 7 to 16 shooting. Was it
Oh,
game
never
two,
mind. Never
maybe?
mind. Never mind. I looked at game two.
Oh, maybe it was game four.
I don't know, bro. It
That's
was just
awful.
wild slander, bro.
Hey
Like,
man,
bro,
I've
he did.
seen I've seen the same stuff
Oh,
on like
he
Jake
had four
Laravia.
fouls. I could see it probably from that. You know, this is where you actually got to watch the series. But then again, you know what? I'm happy I didn't waste time watching that series.
Hey man, people said that if Jake Laravia, if you gave Jake Laravia a chicken's brain, or if you put Jake Laravia in a chicken's body, he'd bark. So
Yeah, it's like I try to enjoy every basketball game, especially when they're so fleeting like it is right now. I mean, I was just thinking last night I was getting a bit sad. Obviously, we didn't know if LeBron was retiring. I was a bit sad about that, but
hey, did you see
we
my
still
did
don't
you
know
see
if
my
LeBron's
snap
retiring.
story?
Yeah,
I was even wearing
no,
Lakers
but
gear last night. I rocked my Cleveland jersey for his last ever game.
it yeah, I was just sad thinking that last night was the last time we're gonna have two basketball games on the same night until October.
Oh, damn.
I know.
See, I wasn't even thinking that when I was talking to when I was just thinking, I was like, dude, this is the last time I've seen Lakers basketball till October, which is obviously bigger for me. But like,
Yeah,
damn, now we're just getting single headed games, bro.
it's awful, bro. Because now, like when the Spurs lose tonight, bro, we gotta get the full attention of NBA Twitter, bro. It's just
Bro, oh my God,
you
you're
don't want
right,
that. You don't want that. It's awful. I
bro.
already had to see it last game, basically, because the Knicks swept and nobody really cared about that series. But I don't know. It makes me sad that there's like that basketball season's already wrapping up. Which part of me, I can't wait to get to the off season. Like I, free agency is
It's gonna be
always a fun time.
it's,
The
it's gonna be a
draft's always
packed
a
out
fun
season
time.
too.
Like W season's starting, but man, as far as the NBA goes, like this is the last doubleheader of the year. That broke my heart.
That is crazy, man. Damn. All right, well, let's talk about the other game from the doubleheader last night. Cavs Pistons tied two
Oh,
two.
another random shout I had. Could you imagine it's Braun's last ever game and you had to go out wearing those ugly ass Lakers City
Bro, that's
jerseys?
what I was thinking, bro.
I
That's
was
what I
thinking
was
about that.
thinking, bro.
I was thinking about that the second I saw you step
Oh
on the court. I'm like, bro, no
man,
way Braun's last game comes in these ugly ass jerseys.
bro.
But hey, he walked off that court way too fast, bro. He didn't reflect on anything.
No,
So
he dapped up Shea, Chet,
he
all of
dapped up
them.
Shea. He dapped up Shea like twice. Talked with him, but then he was out of there, bro.
He was out of it. I mean,
Like
that's always how he is,
when I
though.
think about somebody like walking off the court for the last time in a career, like I think back to like obviously different sport, but you remember Drew Brees' retirement where he like came back
Yeah, at the
to the
tunnel look back.
stadium and he
Yeah,
like went to the tunnel and he stared back at the crowd back at the stadium for one last time
yeah.
and then went in. Like that's what I was expecting Braun to do if that's his last time. But everybody processes things differently, so we don't know till we know. But that was just kind of my takeaway from that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think like back to when he was in Cleveland and he left the second time. After 2018.
Yeah,
Like he got subbed off, but there was still a couple minutes left in the game. But as soon as it was up, he dabbed up Curry and dipped. Like he didn't look back at anything like that.
yeah, yeah.
So it is kind of in his nature to do that kind of stuff. So
We'll see. Obviously, we don't know till we know. So
exactly. So
it's
we're
entirely in
not
Braun's
we're
hands
not
right now.
we're not going to know until the SPs in July. So
I don't want him to. I don't want him to say it on the ESPYS, bro. God, that'd be awful.
No, he's probably gonna say it on mind the game.
Yeah,
That's my
I'm
guess.
not.
That's what I was thinking because he had I didn't even realize he had an episode after they beat Houston in the first round series. I was like, you got 2 days to prepare for OKC when you're the number one option and you're on the fucking Mind the Game podcast talking about what it took to beat the whatever to
Number
beat
one option.
Houston.
I thought in game one the number one option was Austin Reeves.
Yeah,
Anyways, gotta get on to Cavs Pistons.
let's go on.
Thank God this is a series. I mean, thank God. I thought for the longest of times that the Spurs and Timberwolves were just going to carry the second round. I mean, obviously, that's two of the best teams in the West. Always gonna like trump anything the East has. But it was looking rough there. It was looking really grim when you had the Pistons up 2-0, when you had the Knicks up 2-0, when you had the Thunder up 2-0. I was just like, wow. Just imagine every other team sweeps and then Spurs Wolves go 7. Like, that's what it felt like. But the hometown Cavs have clawed back miraculously. Like, I don't understand them at all this postseason. I do, but I don't at the same time. Like, I don't think this Pistons team is the greatest team ever. I think they're absolutely beatable, but I don't think this Cavs team is that good either. Like, neither of these teams are finals contenders in my books at all. They weren't necessarily going into the postseason, but now I especially just don't feel that way about them. When it comes to Detroit, they don't have a secondary ball handler. Like, their second option in the playoffs has been Tobias Harris. And then Jalen Duren has just, again, he stepped it up occasionally, but then I feel like the prevailing sentiment around him is that he's underperformed this postseason. And that showed up again last night in game 4. So, like, what do you do with Jalen Duren? Do you end up paying Jalen Duren? How do you improve this roster? Do you make a swing for a secondary creator around Cade? And then on the other side, the Cavs, man, just Harden had some rough games. Games 1 and 2 were pretty bad for him, but he stepped it up games 3 and 4. So I'll give him credit for that. Donovan Mitchell is playoff Donovan Mitchell. I have a take about him. It's not necessarily a hot one, but I'll save it for when they inevitably get eliminated this playoffs. Yeah. I was gonna say it if they went down 3-1 last night. I was gonna say it if they lost before this, but I'll hold on to it because it's off-season talk. But not great around them. Donovan Mitchell obviously has never made a conference finals, and I feel like he's a huge reason behind that. Jared Allen's actually had a decent postseason. Evan Mobley's had a decent postseason as well. Some of the guys around them have played decent, but it just feels like Mitchell and Harden have let them down, which I know this sounds crazy to say after last night. Donovan Mitchell had
38 and 39 in the second half. Yeah.
In the second half. But I feel like that first half really encapsulated a lot of his issues in the playoffs, a lot of why he struggled to win in the past in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, part of it was, for me, for the Cavs, is when they got back home, it just feels like a different team. And
yeah,
for me, going forward, is can they continue, that level of play on the road, which clearly this postseason we have not seen for them to play, consistently well on the road. And for me, the first 2 games, it was almost like James Harden was trying to be that, secondary scorer, which absolutely he can be, which, like, he's been one of those best scorers in NBA history. But when you have Donovan Mitchell on your team, you don't need to. When they came back home to Cleveland for games 3 and 4, his assist to turnover ratio jumped up. He had 8 assists to turn, or I think he had like 11 actually. Whatever it was, he only had 2 turnovers last night, 3 turnovers in game 3. Like, that's what they need James Harden to do. And I was saying this even before the playoffs even started. I was like, yo, for Cleveland to be successful in these playoffs, you don't need James Harden as a primary scorer. You just need him to facilitate the ball. They didn't have that before. Now they do. And when he's playing like that, the results are there. They won back-to-back games, and the series now tied 2-2, going back to Detroit. So that's what they need James Harden to do. They don't need him to be the scorer. They don't need him to have the Mitchell numbers of 43, 39 in the second half. Like, they just need him to facilitate, limit the turnovers, keep the possession of the ball.
Limiting the turnovers is huge.
Yeah, go find
I
Mobley,
feel like that was
Allen.
his primary issues in games 1 and 2 were the turnovers. I feel like without the turnovers, you could maybe not consider them a good game or a great game, but certainly a lot better than he
Yeah,
had games
a
1 and
lot
2.
closer. They only lost game 1 by
Yeah,
10. They only lost game 2 by what, like 15 or something like that. Like those are a lot closer
yeah.
games when it comes down the stretch. But then again,
I
you
mean,
see game two,
yeah,
the game two down the
they were
stretch
very
was a
close.
close
They were
game.
very close. Like if Harden doesn't turn the ball over in some of those scenarios, they win those games. They could be up 3-1, 4-0 in this series. I mean, obviously, the big takeaway here is the first team to win a road game wins the series. Honestly, the Pistons don't even need to win a road game because they have home court advantage. But if the Cavs can't win a home game, even if they take a home game off the Pistons and they advance in this series, can they really survive going forward doing that? Because like it's not a
Yeah.
sustainable way of winning in the playoffs. It just isn't.
Yeah. And then obviously for both of these teams on a collision course with now New York, who gets uh, uh, un you know
Probably a considerable
they,
break. Same with
yeah, I mean
OKC.
they've already been off 2 days, and then now they have game 5 is tomorrow night, and they obviously are going to go to a game 6, which based off the trends of both teams, this is probably destined to be a 7 game series. New York's looking at another week break, maybe, probably. So, I mean, no matter which way it goes, this is going to be a bloodbath to finish off the series, and then to go into the next series already beat up and tired, going into a fresh New York team who's looking like a, runner up for finals contenders right now up to OKC. Like, that's it's tough no matter what. So I'm intrigued to see what happens in this series, but going to the Eastern Conference Finals, it doesn't really matter in my eyes. I think the Knicks can probably pull it off with the way they're playing right now. But obviously, the Knicks have been susceptible to inconsistent streaks this entire season. So that's going to be very intriguing to see and watch. But I'm actually excited to watch Game 5 tomorrow night. So yeah, let's go on to the last series. Talk about your Spurs. I know you had a lot to talk about before we started. I even hit record this afternoon earlier, but go ahead, run me back through it. What are your thoughts on
I mean,
the first 4 games and then going into Game 5 tonight?
I don't even know where to start because I feel like this series has been an absolute bloodbath so far. I've prevailed and feeling confident throughout most of it, but as of today, I'm not. I don't feel that good about this series. I think the Spurs are probably going to lose in 6. That's just where I sit at right now. Um, realistically, in my mind, I think the Spurs should have won this series in a sweep. Just looking at game by game how it's gone. Now, obviously, the Wolves are a better team than that. I always thought the Wolves were going to take a couple games off us, but game 1, we lost by 2 in a game where everything went wrong for us. The Wolves played great. We played bad. Wemby went 0 for 8 from 3. Julian Champagny had a shot to win the game, a great shot to win the game,
Yeah.
and it just rimmed out. Like one more 3 goes in on our side, and we won the game. Like that sucks. That loss like stung so bad. I honestly that night I sat in bed afterwards and I started watching football season highlights, bro. I started watching Cowboys highlights, started watching Texas highlights. Like it, I was heated after that loss, man. And in game 2, I was blessed. Shout out my mom. I got to go to game 2. It was her birthday too, or her birthday was last week. So happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday to
mom!
your mama.
But we went to the game. Awesome game. We won by 39. We almost put 50, beat them by 50. Even our bench was doing work. We subbed in the reserves with like 10 minutes left in the fourth.
Yeah.
How many other playoff games do you see that happen? Like,
Game 3 of the
part of
Lakers
me,
series.
I don't know. I obviously am not going to complain. I love winning by a lot, especially when I'm there. But I paid, or my mom paid so much money for us to watch 10 minutes, 9 minutes of Kelly Olynyk, Jordan McLaughlin, Kyle Anderson hoops. Like, that was funny. It was funny. But obviously, take the win. Awesome game. Shout out Julian Champagny, man. It's my goat. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
Julian Champagnie. Bro, he's modern. Hey, after that game, there's a lot of comps. I know it's a player you love a lot. You got a lot of love for
Oh
too.
God. Cam
Champion for the
Reddish?
Lakers.
Oh.
No, Danny Green, bro.
Hey, you know
Modern day,
what?
modern day Danny Green,
He's just a taller Danny Green, bro. Like,
bro. Like honestly, it's just I love Julian Champagnie, bro. I've watched him come up through Austin. I've watched him play for the Austin Spurs like many times. So that just like I got so much love for him, and I don't want to see him go. So please pay him all that he's worth and more whenever the time comes, Brian Wright, please. But game 3, obviously, Wemby showed why he's the best player in the world. 39 points, 15 rebounds, 5
yeah.
blocks. One of the more dominant fourth quarters you'll ever see. All of it was on great efficiency. He didn't really even get that 3-point heavy, which we usually see when Wemby has a lot of points. He only shot 3 threes, made 2 of them. Obviously, 2 huge threes. I believe one came in the third, one came in the fourth. But 16 points in the fourth, ultra high efficiency. You're not going to get much better than that. Obviously, the defensive impact is unreal. But that felt like the Victor Wembanyama game, and that felt like he said, I'm the best in the world. I can be the best in the world when I want to be the best in the world. And he really asserted his dominance. So I was flying high off those last 2 games going into game 4. I was like, yeah, we're going to wrap the series up at 5. But then in the second quarter, after Wemby's been hacked all series long, he retaliates and got ejected, unrightfully so. Got ejected
Whoa,
for
chill.
accidentally elbowing Naz Reid in the throat, which it looks worse than it is in full motion, but he was getting hacked well before that. A lot of people are looking at just back in the game 4, like earlier in the game before he got ejected, and saying like, oh, there wasn't that much contact, but like there was some clear fouls that weren't being called there, and so like I get the frustration building up. Especially, I don't know. I feel like you can't fully commentate on it or give your opinion on this unless you've watched every game of the series. Which like I don't like. I'm not even like trying to gatekeep the scenario because I guess that's what it could sound like. But I feel like you just don't have the context of the physicality that the Wolves have been playing Wemby with, and the lack of calls that Wemby has been getting from this crew. Like honestly, I felt the officiating in Game 4 wasn't that bad. Like I don't think Wemby should have been ejected. Obviously, it's a flagrant. I think it should have been a flagrant 1. But outside of that, I don't complain too much about the officials. I thought Game 1 was probably one of the worst officiated games I've seen from a like game standpoint for both teams. I can't remember who officiated that game, but it
Scott
it was
Foster
rough.
officiated that game, wasn't it?
No. Scott Foster was Game 2 because I
Oh, he
actually
was
was
game
like
two.
right next to Scott Foster, bro. So we went down. We were part of the fan tunnel pregame, right?
Yeah.
High five the players, and whole time sitting across from me was Scott Foster. I remember like tapping my little brother on the shoulder. I'm like, dude, that dude right there, Scott Foster, right? And he's like, yeah, isn't he like the most hated dude in the league? And I'm like, yeah, that's Scott Foster right there. And we're talking about Chris Paul right there. We're like, yeah, that dude hates Chris Paul.
That's funny as hell.
So like that's why like I know Scott Foster officiated Game 2. I know Scott
Okay.
Foster for a fact officiated Game 2. I forget who officiated Game 1. But whoever
Tony
it was, the
Brothers?
entire crew. No. I know it's not Tony Brothers because let me get to that next. But Game 1, they were just so late on their whistle every game. Like obviously, we both officiate at the intramural level, so we're experts on officiating. But like they whistled so late, bro. Like they waited 5 to 7 business days before blowing their whistle, and that led to like a bunch of confusion from the fans, the players, just the crowd in arena. Like everybody seemed confused by the officials there. And then I thought they allowed a lot of physicality both ways, which just doesn't seem right in the modern NBA, like with how a lot of officiating goes.
I do remember all that, yeah.
But Game 3 is the one I have the biggest complaints about, which the Spurs won. thank God. But I said to hold off on Tony Brothers because
Oh, he was game 3.
he was game 3, and that was one of the worst officiated games I feel like I've ever seen. I mean, both like both teams got away with a lot, man, but there was a lot that went against the Spurs. Just you remember the block Wimby had on Ant?
Um, I'm trying to like think. Not off the top of my head.
Basically, it was in the fourth quarter. He blocked Ant. I believe it was like a free throw pull up shot. Rudy is behind him, holding his left arm behind him, like fully grabbing his arm so he can't get out to contest.
I knew
Meanwhile,
you were talking about.
he
Yeah,
blocks Ant's shot, gets out in front, trying to run the break, and then Ant just like grabs
yeah,
a
he
fistful of
got his jersey.
jersey. Like,
Yeah, okay, yeah, I knew you were talking
obviously,
about. Yeah,
Ant's trying to intentionally foul there. It's a smart play, but it's just like, why isn't that getting called?
yeah.
That's kind of like the first one that comes to mind. Obviously, I mentioned it before we got on air, but Terrence Shannon Jr. this series is getting a Luka Doncic whistle, and that was evident in Game 3. It was nuts, man. It was ridiculous. I feel like Stephon Castle isn't getting calls. Like calls are going against him, and he isn't getting calls. Carter Bryant is getting called for some crazy stuff. Like Carter Bryant is obviously very like raw. He sometimes can be over aggressive, but he's getting called for fouls on times where I'm like, I feel like Carter Bryant like actually held his own there, like held his ground. Like it was awful. And then obviously there was the whole Chris Finch incident, which have you ever seen a referee pursue a coach in that
No,
manner?
yeah,
That
that was crazy.
like it was like he was trying to bait Finch into attack. Like I kind of felt like first watching the game, obviously I'm in fan mode. I'm rooting heavy for the Spurs. I was like, why isn't that a tech on Finch? Why didn't he just call the tech there? But I look back after the game and I'm like, that was so shameless, man. Like he was
Yeah,
completely just chasing Chris Finch
it
around
was
trying
it
to get
was
like
so
trying to get a tech.
weird, dude.
I
Like I I don't know. I
I've never
think
seen something like that. I've never seen something like that, and for that to happen
because
in the
usually
playoffs is
usually when
nuts.
that kind of happens is obviously very coach initiated and like they'll go up to him and then start walking back. But the ref will follow him a little bit and they give him the technical. But in this instance, Finch was standing right there already. The ref walked over to him. They got into it. Finch walked away, and Ant was literally like Ant, Gobert, all of them were pulling away, and the ref kept following him.
Bro, I thought that was so funny how Ant started like Ant and them got in between them and started pulling Chris Finch away.
Bro, that
That's
was mad
oh my god,
funny,
that killed me. That killed me, Mo.
bro. But that's
I don't
crazy
know.
though.
I feel like there's been some like oddly officiated moments with scuffles. Like obviously that one, I thought
The Gobert
the
or
Bones and Castle one in Game
yeah,
2 was a bit weird because like Castle kind of fouled Bones, although I felt like it was more of in line with a basketball play.
oh, yeah.
But
They kind of just
then
let it go, dude.
Bones like initiated it and then
Yeah, they just
kind of
let him
started the
go, bro.
altercation
It's
there
so weird.
and didn't get ejected.
I,
Uh,
I don't know.
and then like
A lot of
Jaden
things.
McDaniels, like he started something with Castle in Game 3, and
Yeah,
there was no text there at all. Like I for sure thought because I think Castle said something or did something with the ball afterwards. I thought they were just going to call it double text and get it over with, but they didn't call anything. It feels like there's been so much in this series. Getting back to my main point, that has led up to Wimby, the frustration getting out there because there's an inconsistent amount of physicality being allowed from game to game, not only in this series but just in every game in the playoffs, and that's unacceptable. It is ridiculous. I'm almost getting to the point where maybe we should consider having one officiating crew ref an entire series, just
I've
so
really been thinking
we
about
get
that kind of stuff
consistent
too.
calls. Just so we get consistent calls, because like I said, there's been three different officials for at least the first three games of this. Actually, for the first four, because Zach Zarba was game four. So it's a differentiating amount of physicality, and I think that's what led to Wimby's outburst right there.
Yeah, I agree. I've been thinking about that
Uh,
too because the Lakers, obviously, one of the
yeah,
main headlines of the series was the Lakers Thunder series was officiating all that kind of stuff, which obviously I don't agree with having officiating be a headline of any sort of lost win situation or like that, but it has been very different game to game with that series as well. Like inconsistency wise, and then like you get consistency from another crew, and then they don't get. It's very weird. So I've been having that thought of like, why don't we just do, straight, one officiating crew, because those crews are officiating around the series as well anyway. So it's extra travel for those crews or referees, and
It make
just
it a
makes
lot
it very
easier
weird.
for them. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You just yeah.
Uh,
But yeah,
Obviously, I don't. Well, I don't think it should have been an ejection. I do think Wimby should control his emotions a little bit there. A lot of people were poking fun at the fact that you remember his quote when he was talking about like crying after
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah.
the
The
Clippers win,
Clippers
where he was
game.
like, I refuse to hold the burden of concealing my emotions to anyone. Yeah, something along that lines. That like obviously that's such a bar. That is a unbelievably hard bar. But maybe just tone it down a little bit. Like I agree with
Yeah,
what Mitch Johnson said. Like obviously no ill will on Nas. Like I don't want Nas to get hurt. You obviously don't want to see that. But good, like I feel partially good, like good on Wimby for standing up for himself. Just how he's been treated by the officiating by
yeah,
other players this series. Like I'm happy that he's standing up for himself, but obviously that was a bit too much. You don't want to see Nas get hurt there, and you don't want to cost your team a game. And that's like moving on to going forward. I feel like we've already had our opportunity to close the door on this series. We win game one. We would have been up 3-0 going into game four. Series would have been done. We win game four, 3-1. Again, series done. And yet the Wolves are here 2-1. We still haven't got a Julius Randle game. Like, Io's kind of been useless this series. It it just feels like they're the Wolves are due. It feels like they're the more seasoned team. They're the more experienced team. Going into tonight's game five, a pivotal game five,
you have two of your
the
pivotal
Spurs,
players questionable.
yeah, pivotal, and it's De'Aaron Fox. But chill, chill. I got to chill. I'll say that for the offseason. But they're both questionable, and they both got injured by the same player in Ayo Dosunmu, who I think those both could be questioned to be not necessarily dirty plays, but they're questionable plays to say the least.
Yeah, I
And
agree
I
with that.
you don't see anybody talking about it. It feels like because the Spurs are the 2 seed and people want to hate on the Spurs and people want to hate on Wimby right now. Like that's just it's the arc of everybody in the NBA. Once you get good as a player, once you get good as a team, people are obviously going to be with you on the way up. We saw it with Shea, man. Like everybody like used to be like, "Oh, this guy's so underrated." I know because I'm one of them. Like I used to like I'm not saying used to. I still rock with Shea heavy,
Me
but I've
too.
seen the way people around him have started to like turn on him and be like, and the media narrative has turned on him to him being a flopper. The Thunder have the fakest the fakest ring ever. They're gonna get the fakest second ring ever this year. When realistically, they're the best team in the NBA. They've been the best team in the NBA this entire season. Shea has been the best player in the world, the most consistent player in the world most of this season, and that's that. So it's just a career arc that you see with everybody. I mean, remember how hated LeBron was? First stint Cleveland, Miami, second stint Cleveland. Like it's a pathway.
Yeah,
You want to be
I
the
think
best, you're gonna get hated, and that's just. I think that's where the Spurs are at right now. I think that's where we're going. I don't really have much faith in this series. I kind of think the Wolves just win the next two, close it out in six. But I don't know. I've doubted this team a lot, and they proved me wrong a lot. So I hope they prove me wrong again.
the
I hope the
the
players prove me
Spurs.
wrong.
When you talk about like the Spurs hate and the hate arc for the Spurs, I really do not like it at all. Off the fact that like it's gonna happen at some point. I just think it's very premature. Y'all haven't won shit yet with this core,
Yeah,
so it's very premature. Like the OKC hate makes sense. They won a ring last year, so you have reason to hate them if
but
you want to.
OKC was getting hate before that too. Like you
Even
got to think
too,
about
but
that with
like,
Shea before they
but
won.
yeah, but Shea was already, MVP finalists, all that kind of stuff. So they're winning in some margin and stuff like that. This is the first year that the Spurs have really won something like crazy meaningful. Like, yeah, you'll have the back-to-back rookie of the years. That doesn't really mean anything in terms of like winning stuff, as a team.
Yeah,
Wemby won his first D player this year. You guys haven't had an All NBA player for the past couple of seasons. Yeah, NBA finalists. Like, so all happens this year. So I say, hey, put the brakes on the hate for at least until the offseason or until next year at the very least, or until y'all win a championship. Because I don't like hate culture as much as I like hated it watching, the Thunder and Shea, not even really Shea, just the Thunder demolish my team in this series. I have the utmost respect for that team because they built a team and they have a serious squad with them. Like, I respect the hell out of that as a basketball fan. And if you can't understand that and respect that, then what kind of fan really are you of a sport? So it's awful to think.
It all comes down to appreciating greatness, and how are you going to look back in 10 years upon your views right now? And I almost guarantee you, everybody who hates Shea right now, everybody who hates on the Thunder is going to be like, damn, that was some good basketball I watched. Like,
exactly.
Doing it. You see people doing it with the Warriors right now, and it feels like revisionist history because nobody really, like, everybody hated the Warriors at the time. And that's just how it is. Like, with Bron retiring, I'm like, as a Spurs fan, as a Curry fan, like, Bron was my favorite op growing up. Like, I obviously, like, I loved and enjoyed watching LeBron play, but it was fun to hate on him at the same time too. And like, I miss those days. Like, it's obviously nostalgia, but I feel like people get so caught up in the hate that they're missing out on watching great basketball, watching great players. I mean, I don't think people can fathom what we're watching in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander right now. What we're watching in Victor Wembanyama. I mean, these are special basketball players, and
what's funny is, like,
for granted,
for us, like, we talk about this, but we come from franchises that are one of the greats, in sports history. So I think a lot of the hate comes from people that haven't experienced a lot of success, like teams like.
Well, yeah,
like, I think that's where a lot of the hate comes from, and I feel like we do get spoiled a little bit, but you have to learn no matter who you are as a fan. Like, just appreciate the fact that Wemby's on GOAT path right now. Like, he's on the GOAT path. So
yeah,
appreciate it, bro.
Like, obviously, as a Spurs fan, we've definitely been blessed a few times. Like, I have to hear it all the time online about, oh, Adam Silver built the Spurs. Adam Silver rigged it for the Spurs. I'm just like, high key, I don't really care. Like, obviously, Adam Silver, the lottery system, whatever you want to say, we got the first overall pick with Wemby, the fourth overall pick with Castle, and the second overall pick with Harper. Before that, we had no lottery luck. But those were really our 3 years out and out tanking. And, we got 3 good picks. But so what? I mean, there's so many other teams in the league that have gotten top picks and have completely misused them, mishandled them.
We talked about the Rockets.
Blown them. The Rockets, the Hawks, not to a lesser extent, but they picked Risa Shea. So
yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah,
it's bad.
The Pistons, although the Pistons have done a good job, as of late, it was more the 2010s that the Pistons didn't do as great. That's just what it comes down to. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. Like, that's my team. That's who we drafted. Like, it is what it is. If Adam Silver decided to bless my team, Adam Silver decided to bless my team. Like, obviously, that sounds like a spoiled fan, but like at the same time, like I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Thank you. You can watch the games and work for them no matter what.
Thank you, Adam Silver. Like, what am I supposed to do if Adam Silver rigged it for my team? Say no? Like, say no, thank you? Like, I don't know.
What are you supposed to do?
I don't know. It's there's a lot of weird dialogue around the Spurs, and like you were saying, it feels weird because we haven't won just yet. We haven't reached the mountaintop. This is our first year really being something. So I don't know. We'll see how the rest of the series plays out. I'm not too confident, but tonight we'll speak a lot. Let's just say that.
We'll be back soon. But before we head in this episode, let's get on real quick. Lottery was a couple nights ago.
Oh yeah, speaking of lottery odds, speaking of Adam Silver.
What was the reaction to the Wizards getting number 1 all pick? I was happy for that fan base. It was really cinematic to me to watch John Wall accept the number 1 overall pick. The last time the Wizards had the number 1 overall pick, they picked John Wall in 2011, 2012.
Yeah,
Was it
on
10?
Mother's Day too. Like
Okay.
I don't know if you saw, he had a pendant for his mom
Yeah.
that he was
Yeah, I did
wearing, a
see
lucky
that.
pendant. Dude, that warmed my heart, man.
I love John Wall,
God,
dude. John
that's
Wall's one of my
awesome,
favorite
man.
players and favorite guys in league history, man.
Dude, how can you hate John Wall? Like that's
I don't
really,
know,
how can you
but
hate John Wall?
that was one of my favorite things, dude. But the lottery, looking at how it went this year and the rules that are possibly coming in for the next couple years, it makes me wonder, why do we need them?
Yeah,
Because
because the
bottom
bad teams
still
got
dropped.
picks. Yeah.
Indiana doesn't even keep their pick because of it. They dropped to 5, which now is going to LA. Brooklyn
Well,
dropped
but
to
this is the first time the team with the worst record has gotten the first pick since 2018,
yeah, but then
since the odds were messed with.
not even 2018 because the worst team was New York and they oh no that was 2019. 2018 was who's 2018 Philly.
Phoenix, Phoenix.
Oh, Phoenix, and they got
Was
8.
Phoenix the
Yeah,
worst team? Yeah,
was it something like that?
it was
But
since the lottery odds have been messed with. Let's just
okay,
say
so yeah,
that.
2018. Yeah, so but then still Brooklyn top was probably was it 2 or 3? They dropped to 6, wasn't it? Or something
That
like that.
oh my god, that got me. That's awful, man. That
Yeah,
first reactions,
Sacramento dropped to 7. Oh, speaking of
first reactions.
Sacramento,
Oh,
hey, Jason Teeter, our brother. Hey, we're in healing with you, man. We hang our heads low with you tonight on this awful tragic news of the Kings getting the 7th overall pick, or 2 days removed from it. But and man, we stand with you in your journey as a Kings fan. See you soon, brother. I'm actually gonna see him in a couple weeks too. So
it's like he's still here with us.
so yeah, really, for real.
No, but my immediate reaction, not what most people would say. The Wizards need to change their jerseys.
Really?
That that's the first thing I thought of, bro. Because God, they have the worst home and away jerseys in North America.
No, they don't. The
Period.
Wolves do.
Yes, they do. No, the Wolves are better. Bro, you cannot ask for
I'm trying to think of the
a
Wizards
more
one.
sauceless jersey than what the Wizards are rocking right now. Like maybe
Okay,
the
but
Jazz from a couple years ago
they're,
before they
they're,
went
they're,
back.
they're bringing the cherry blossoms back. So
Okay, they still need to change the home and away, bro. I saw an edit of AJ DeBonsa in there. I almost threw up, bro. Like those
that's true.
jerseys look
I've seen
awful.
they need to go back to the agent or the Gilbert Arenas font
Yes, the
style.
blues. Yeah, the blues,
I
the
don't know about
gold.
I think they obviously need to change the logo too because I don't like circular basketball
I
shaped
could see
logos,
like
but
the Wizards like font
in the new
that from the
colors.
Gilbert Arena state. Yeah, I could see
Yeah,
that. That look hard.
that I saw
No,
edit of
but
that. I was like, bro, that's crazy good, man.
odd first thought because then I started imagining the top three in their union. I was like, God, none of these look good.
Nah,
It's
Cam Boozer in Memphis, bro. Ugh, that's nasty.
Memphis also has terrible jerseys, but it is what it is. Uh, Interesting way for the lottery to play out. I'm still confused how AJ DeBonsa has ended up as the consensus number one guy.
I don't
That's
know
kind of
either.
been my thought for a while. Uh, it feels like he got better without playing, or got his stock improved without playing, because like almost like in NFL terms, like obviously completely different tiers of prospects. But do you remember how JJ McCarthy rose a couple years ago after Michigan won the Natty? Like he
Yeah,
rose without playing. Honestly, another guy I could go for would be Anthony Richardson. Like guys that just rise after not playing.
Trey
Obviously,
Lance.
I think AJ DeBonsa, it's a good shout, will be better than all of those guys in his respective sport. But it, I don't get this number one hype over him over one over Cam Boozer, two over Darren Peterson, three over Caleb Wilson. Because right now, AJ's sitting at 4 on my board, and I
I don't hate that at
think
all.
those I think those other three are better than him. That's where I sit at. And I don't
I think
understand how teams get to the process of AJ being one. Like, not, this isn't AJ. Like this, I swear this isn't AJ hate. I don't want to make this whole segment about AJ hate. It's just something that's been going through my mind because I'm so confused. People are acting like it's a foregone conclusion. Like there's no discussion. Like the Wizards aren't even going to look at Cameron Boozer. And to me, that's ridiculous. That's the sign of a bad franchise, a bad organization.
absolutely. I believe I 100% agree, and I think a lot of it has to do with the way the lottery played out. Washington doesn't necessarily need a guard. They just traded for Trae Young, so they're not going to go DP probably. So you're looking at one of the three wing/forward options in Boozer, Wilson, or DeBonsa. And I guess to them, DeBonsa just has the higher ceiling, but I don't think that's what you necessarily need because, again, we'll talk about this in their offseason guide when we do it at some point throughout the next couple weeks. But Anthony Davis probably on the trading block as well again. So you're looking at a replacement for, which is exactly what you get in Karen Boozer. So it's very interesting to see what all these analytic teams, but we don't know what the Washington Wizards are going to do. Obviously, that's going to be a thing that we see June 22nd, sorry. We'll see that whenever that plays out, but it is funny to think that all the analytics people and all the analysis guys are saying DeBance is number one, which really isn't at all what it should be. Like,
yeah,
DeBance is
think it's
closer
kind
to
of funny
5 than he is to the top 3.
to me. It's funny how the Grizzlies, one of the more analytically driven franchises in the league. Obviously, they have some analytics demons, which Sheet FC on Twitter loves, like Zach Edey, Cam Spencer. But they get 3, which kind of perfectly slots them in to get Cam Boozer. So
yeah, especially with the way people think is going to go out, absolutely.
Even
if they don't get Cam Boozer, they get probably Caleb Wilson and still DeBonsa, which isn't. We're not going to sit here and think DeBonsa is going to be a bad player at all. Like, we're not going to say that at all.
That's not what I'm saying. It's just
they still get the benefit of whatever. Yeah, they still get an elite player or elite prospect in this process. So no matter
I
what
actually really like this. I really like this lottery because, one, I'm a fan of bad basketball teams getting rewarded with top picks. I know, very controversial statement. Adam Silver absolutely hates to see it, but you know what? I think that the worst basketball teams in the league, the teams that won the least amount of games in a season, should get rewarded with a top player to make them better. That's how the draft lottery used to work. Not the Mavs jumping up to 1. Obviously, the Spurs jumped from 7 to 2 last year. Not the Hawks jumping up to 1. I think bad teams should get rewarded, and that's what happened. So I am happy with this lottery. I would have liked to have seen Indy get a top 4 pick. I would have liked to have seen Brooklyn get a top 4 pick. Maybe Sacramento, but you know what? The Wizards, they were the worst team in basketball last year. Guess what? They got the number 1 overall pick. That's a win for NBA fans across the globe. That's awesome. That's what we need. And honestly, I'm sad for Nets fans, and I'm sad for Kings fans because they don't deserve what they're gonna get.
Acuff and Ament, here we go.
What you mean? It's Bayment, bro.
Hey, that's not me. When we talk about the Valks, we put Bay. I'm like, hey, but hey, not for Ament. I'm not a Warriors fan. Bayment, all my homies, go get an Ament jersey.
Baden Pajimski. Bandon Pajimski.
Baydell Stephen Curry.
I don't know. Man, this was the Kings' chance. This was the Nets' chance. They have been circling the top of the draft for the last few years, but they didn't out tank. It felt like the last couple of years, like they did this year, and they got burnt. Especially the Kings. I mean, the Kings dropped all the way to 7, and a lot of that lies in the fact they were winning games they shouldn't have late in the season. Like, they went 9-20 at some point, like late in the year. That's
they tanked their odds from the second best to like the 5th best at some point.
Same with like the Mavs did that. I thought it was funny. I think it's slightly biased. There was one Mavs fan. They were blowing out the Bulls, and he was live streaming it, like his reaction to the game. And he brought out a guitar, and he started singing like "Welcome to Town, Nate Ament, Welcome to Town, Koa Pete," because they were winning a game they shouldn't be winning if they want to tank. And I felt like a lot of teams burnt themselves down the stretch. Like, we saw Chicago jump, which, hey, we love Chicago on this podcast.
We love especially you. Chicago.
Hey, we love Chicago.
Shout out. I'm gonna be in Chicago.
I'm kidding.
A week before the draft, bro. Shout out that, bro.
I was more making a joke because of your previous comments about Chicago, but
Oh yeah, yeah, no. I hate Chicago still. Drop the
Hey,
ball
hey,
in that city, bro.
hey. Gabriel is balling, so hey, fair skies at Sky
Yeah,
FC.
but it
Fairs.
should have never been Gabriella though. So
Yeah. But anyways, I'm happy to see Chicago jump. I think they're a franchise that's needed it. They needed this rejuvenation. 4-15. Obviously, I was a bit bummed that they got four because I wanted to see them get three. I've been, foretelling this prophecy of Cameron Boozer, following in his dad's footsteps and going to Chicago, but wasn't meant to be. Caleb Wilson's still an awesome, awesome player. He's
it
second
still
on
could
my
happen, bro.
he's second on my board. So just let that be
Caleb,
known. Yeah,
hey, I rock with that. Actually, bro, Caleb.
I think getting him at four is amazing value. I think whoever they get at 15 is probably going to be amazing value if they
I
don't
think
mess it up.
I think
I
we've talked about this so many times with like just stuff about
Yeah,
like spots people can or spots that teams can draft in, and four or three or four, but preferably four is the best you can do. No
yeah, because
matter
you
who
just get the
you get a star.
best of who's left, best of
Yeah,
who's left. As long as you don't mess it up and pull a Patrick Williams. But
yeah.
it's
There's
new.
that
It's a
week.
new front office. It's a new front office. Uh, I've already talked a bit with Wyatt about it. Like they went with the wild card option. I believe his name's is it Bryson Graham? Excuse me if I'm
Something like
calling him
that.
out
I
a
think
name.
I know what you're
I
talking about.
believe
Yeah,
that is his name, but he was the higher up with the Hawks.
he was the
Obviously,
assistant.
the Hawks made some really good moves last offseason. They were my winners of the offseason. So I'm excited to see what this brings for the Bulls. And I've been saying like it's hard to judge people who come from lower positions other than the top guy in front offices. But I'm intrigued to see this direction of
I mean,
Chicago basketball.
Chicago, lots of cap space, two top 15 draft picks, obviously number four. That's
They got some young assets. I mean, we got now 7 foot Noah Singay. I don't know if you heard that, but
bro.
he
I don't
grew.
care, bro.
Bro, chill on him, bro. He is their
Hey,
future.
Noah Senge in my MP my career, bro. Me and him have the nastiest pick and roll of all time.
Bro, I promise you Noah Singay will be a great basketball player. His rookie year starts next year.
I
Everything that
love a
happened
Senge.
before
I love a
doesn't count.
Senge. I love a Senge, but
Hey, he was 18. He grew to 7 feet now. Time to put the league on notice.
yeah,
Singay will rise. I don't know. I still buy stock in a lot of the other guys on their roster, like Trey Jones, Spurs legend. I love Trey Jones to death, man. God, I kind of wish we still had him, but he's balling in Chicago. Can't hate. Leonard Miller, another draft guy I love. Another Spurs legend. We traded him on draft night to the Wolves. Again, just trading decent players, kind of bothers me.
Jalen
Who
Smith
else
is
they
their big.
got?
I don't even hate Jalen Smith.
I like Jalen Smith. He's actually a name I like for the Spurs to pursue in this
Yeah,
offseason.
I mean,
Just get rid of the Josh Giddey contract, and I think you got something.
I
You
think you
know,
absolutely do. We
uh,
could talk. Yeah,
there's a lot of interesting notes about this draft, man. I'm happy with this order. Like I feel bad for Nets fans. I feel bad for Kings fans. But other than
overall
that,
basketball
I feel
fans
bad for
won.
Pacers fans. Sorry, I forgot to mention. I feel awful for Pacers fans, but they kind of did it to themselves. At least the front office did.
It was a 10 out
So,
of 10 gamble and risk, and they didn't necessarily need that pick anyways to be contender next year anyway.
oh
So
yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
but it does suck that they missed out on a potential another star to add
I,
alongside their three that they have
I
already.
forgot to even talk about it. Like, what do you think LA's team is going to do at pick 5?
LA's team, fuck off.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've been throwing that one
I've seen a
back
lot
and
of.
forth.
I think they
I've seen
go.
Wagler,
Kingston Flemings. I think Wagler's.
even with
I
the
think
T Rex arm.
Wagler's the. I think Wagler's the best fit for LA, especially with how the combine can go and how he can develop as a player. But I think Flemings is the guy that they'd rather have because it gives them more room to do stuff around
Yeah,
it,
I'm gonna have to
around the
go through some
edges.
more thoughts. I'm thinking about it right here. Like, what if they go with Mara to fill in for Zubac? Like, I think that
I
would
mean
be
that'd be. I don't think they do that, but that'd be nasty. That's probably one of the better fits, honestly, for people to go
yeah.
with.
I'm just trying to think through it. I think that is probably one of the better landing spots for Wagler. Just playing him off the ball. I'm still like my Wagler stock is so weird right now because I'm so big on production at a young age equals great prospect, but the measurables were less than desirable. He has short arms. He can't really jump, even though he has a 33-inch vert. In game, he can't really jump. He's not that athletic. So I don't know what to think of him. Like, obviously, the defensive numbers weren't great, but Illinois plays a lot of zone. He's a weird player. Let's
Yeah,
just
he
say that.
is.
Uh,
Um,
Dallas is another interesting one for me. Sorry, I know I just keep going here, but
Dallas.
where do they go? They fell to 9. I believe they fell. I thought they had like the eighth best odds, or either
I
that
mean,
or
it's
they
like
were 9.
they fell, but it was like around that area. But I don't know. That's around that area. It's
I guess
Adamar,
you
Yaks.
take best of what's left with guards because I feel like they're going to target guards. So Dallas did drop one. They were 8.
Oh, they were 8. I
Um,
mean,
yeah,
who's
Tankathon has them going
guard?
Brandon Burries right now. Tankathon actually has Nate Bayment going to the Hawks at 8. God, that'd be awesome. That'd be funny. But
That'd be really funny.
like you got
I
Burries in that
think
range.
I
Uh,
think Michael Brown's probably in that range.
I don't know. I have Michael going 6 to Brooklyn, but he could be in that range, and I think that'd be a home run for them. I like LeBaron Philon
Yeah,
for Dallas too.
final.
That's another one I
I've
thought
seen
about.
Phylon to go to Golden State though, to drop to 2
Yeah,
more spots to 11. I mean, I
uh,
think both teams go with the guard. I think
it's a great guard
Phylon,
class, really.
Michael Burries,
I mean, who knows?
that
I
lower
really think
part.
that Flemings could drop. I think Wagler could drop. Like, who knows the
I don't know.
direction of some
I
of these
think
franchises.
that's why I'm so excited to watch this draft, dude. Like I'm hyped. I can't
But
wait for it.
we have 42 days, which I feel like I feel like a spoiled NBA fan right now because my franchise is still in the playoffs technically for 2 more games. But I'm out here like talking about the draft and like, man, I can't wait for the draft. You know, we still got a good playoffs going on. Like we're probably getting the Thunder Knicks finals. We still got a good offs ahead of us. Like hopefully a good finals matchup. And yet here I am. I'm like, damn, get me to the draft. Get me to free agency.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know.
ready. I'm so ready. But until then, we'll have another mock draft for y'all at some point
Soon.
with Reese. Soon we'll have it.
Hey, the lower bowl.
The lower
The
bowl
lower
we'll
bowl.
have. Oh, that's so hard. I'm rocking that so heavy. But we'll have that with y'all sometime soon. Um, we'll be back with y'all sometime later this week. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday, maybe more episodes. We have a lot of time on our hands to do more episodes and more content for y'all. So
Yeah.
if you're still around, go check out the Instagram, go check out the TikTok, go check out the Twitter, all that kind of stuff. But for now, Spurs in 7,
Wolves. I'm saying Wolves in 6, bro.
Wolves in 6.
All right, it's
Run it.
still go Spurs go. It's still go
Purple
Spurs go.
rain. Purple rain. I'm about to rock this when I go outside later. Whatever I do. But for now, we're back for the summer, for the rest of the playoffs, and for a lot of time after that. But for now, I'm Cole Frere. That's Zach Dorosic. I don't know which way he is on me anymore. Wherever he's at, he's in
What way
Austin.
I'm on
Anyways.
you?
He's 2 hours ahead. Pause. Actually, no pause. But
Resume.
we'll catch y'all. We'll catch y'all on the flip. Peace out, y'all. Appreciate it.